Tom comes over the spectrum with a job. All it says is an amount of cargo, a delicate timetable, and a risky route. You know you've got 42 cubic meters to pack full of profit. We're talking pressurized and shock-resistant construction, so whatever you put in here comes out the same way. You got two Arc Duo 400 engines. Their award-winning colloid ion technology gives you maximum fuel efficiency while keeping your sig low. Come across a couple of pirates.
Hey, Lancer, you know the drill.
But with a weapon system featuring trusted names like Bering and Hornet, you aren't too worried.
Commercial vessel, Freelancer class. Rig tags look good. Cleared for landing at Area 18.
You're the one they come to when they need a job done right. Because you trust one ship. Misk Freelancer. Built for life.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to make your living amongst the stars, meet alien species, or explore new planets? Imagine no more. Welcome to Star Citizen. In this video, I revisit what Star Citizen is planned to be and where it is today. The footage you see here is of actual gameplay footage at Star Citizen Alpha 2.0. I start by waking up at Port Olisar, call up my Origin JumpWorks M50 Interceptor, and fly out to a communications array to fend off attacking AI pirates and reset the array. Once reset, I fly to Security Port Korea to try and get into some first-person shooter combat. There are a few clips that I have included in this video that were created by Cloud Imperium Games, the developers of Star Citizen. The first and most important thing that you need to know is that the game is still very much in development. In its current state, you could consider it a very early alpha test. All of the features of the game are not yet in place. Additionally, everything is subject to change as development progresses. Despite that, there's still plenty of things in-game that you can do now. I'll get to those later on in the video. If you've come to this video and you haven't seen any of my videos before, one of your big questions may be, what is Star Citizen? Star Citizen is an MMORPG and space simulator in a sandbox first-person universe, also known as the PU or Persistent Universe. What that means is that you play as a person in the mid to late 2900s, making your living as any number or combination of professions including space trucking, exploring, mining, racing, piracy, bounty hunting, and smuggling, among many others. You'll be able to wake up in a bunk, walk to a ship, enter it, fly it to another location in the same or a different system, board another ship to take it or its cargo, dogfight other ships, land on a planet or station, have a gunfight, sell your goods that are either legit or stolen, and return to where you started if you so choose. Where Star Citizen differs from most other MMORPGs is that there are no levels or skills to gain. It's all based on your own personal skill. No grinding to reach max level just to start the end game. It's all available for you to do at the start. The premise of the game starts you off in Squadron 42, the single-player and cooperative campaign mode for Star Citizen. You are a rookie pilot in the UEE Navy. Throughout the campaign, you will prove your worth and earn your place among the stars. Here is where you create your character and beneficiary. I'll go a little bit more in depth on the purpose of the beneficiary later. Upon completion of the campaign, you may be discharged from the UEE Navy to make your way, keeping what you've earned during the campaign to include ships, credits, reputation, and even battle scars.
Quantum drive is now off.
and gentlemen, this emergency session is called to order. Admiral Bishop, you have the floor.
For 200 years, we have battled the Vandal. We have caught these attacks, raids, or skirmishes or incursions. But I am here to tell you that we are at war. Tiber, Orion, Caliban, Virgil, once human systems all but abandoned in the face of the enemy. The Vandal are at our gates, weapons bared while we hide and cower, retreating as they burn and decimate everything around us. We cannot let the tragedy of Vega happen again. We cannot give the Vandal any more ground. To defend this empire, we must attack. And we have to be committed to that attack, whatever the cost may be. We have to rebuild our fleet. We have to use the power of human innovation to reclaim these so-called red systems and strike back at the enemy. This will not be an easy fight. It will cost us in resources, in credits, in lives. Well, some of you may be asking why undertake such a thing, and I can tell you in one word. Victory! For if there's one thing the Vandal has taught us, it's that without victory, there can be no survival!
Once discharged from the UEE Navy, one of the first things you will need is a ship. However you choose to make a living, a ship is most likely how you will start making your way in the universe. If not, it'll definitely be helpful with getting around the universe to get to your jobs. As a present-day example, picture living in Massachusetts, working in New York, and flying your own private airplane to commute back and forth. Don't fret too much over this, though. All current game packages contain at least one ship to start with. If your ship is destroyed during your travels, your insurance, if you have it, will replace it for you. The time it takes for them to replace it will depend on the rarity of the ship and how many times you've had to replace it before. In some cases, you could be without your ship for quite a while. Even if you don't have a ship to fly while you're waiting for the insurance to replace yours, there are still going to be ways to play without it. With the inclusion of multi-crew ships, you can fly as a pilot or crew member on a friend's or an organization's ship. Additionally, there will likely be missions from NPCs that will provide a ship for your use. Some organizations are even offering ship rental services. In order to land at most places, you'll need to have insurance on your ship. To have insurance on your ship, you'll need to pay a monthly premium, just like in the real world. The difference here is that you only use days from your insurance policy that you're logged into the game. For example, if you have 30 days of insurance and play for 7 days, real life then gets busy and you're unable to play for a couple of weeks or even a couple of months or more. When you return to the game, you'll still have 23 days of insurance left. If you died when your ship was destroyed, one of two things will happen depending on how many times it's happened before and the severity of the injuries received. The first is that you'll wake up in a hospital on a nearby planet, and you'll have injuries, scars, and possibly even prosthesis. Your character may also have handicaps due to his or her injuries. The second thing is that you wake up as your beneficiary at your funeral. Your beneficiary will receive your in-game assets, and you'll continue playing as him or her with a reduced reputation. This should prevent a lot of run-and-gun suicide activities, making for more tactical gameplay. You don't simply just respawn nearby and keep going like in many other games. You can mitigate the risk of death in the universe by traveling with a group, be it just a few friends watching each other's backs or as part of an organization's fleet. Organizations are Star Citizen's equivalent to guilds or clans that you find in other games. These can range from small groups of friends, ship owners clubs, and gaming communities, all the way up to large, highly organized groups. When choosing an organization, if you decide to join one, take a look at what you want to do, how much time you can commit, and your values. Compare that to the organizations you're looking at. Before joining an organization, talk to some members and/or its recruiting staff. Think of several questions to ask. Keep in mind that some organizations can be highly structured and will want you to meet a certain standard either before joining, before the full release of the game, or before performing certain in-game jobs upon release of the game. Most importantly, when looking at an organization, be realistic about yourself and your expectations. If an organization isn't a fit, don't join it and look at others. There are currently over 33,000 organizations in Star Citizen. There will be one that's a good fit for you, so don't settle for one that's not. One of the most common questions I'm asked when talking to a prospective citizen is, what is available to do now? The answer? Plenty. First off, you have the hangar where you can admire your ships and any decorations you've collected. You have the Arena Commander module, which contains free flight racing, single-player and cooperative versus waves of AI enemies, a capture the flag type mode, a free-for-all dogfighting mode, team dogfighting, and the tutorials. Next on the list is ArcCorp Area 18, which is an area where you can explore and get an idea of what interacting with the economy will be like, including buying ships, weapons, and clothes, finding jobs, and hospitals. The last thing that is currently available is Crusader, a part of the Stanton 2 system. In Crusader, you can fly and crew multi-crew ships, dogfight with other players, perform mission tasks such as fend off pirates so you can reactivate a communications satellite, respond to distress beacons, explore an asteroid belt, repair your ship, find out what happened to a now deserted shipping hub, and engage in first-person shooter combat. In many of those scenarios, you'll have to perform extravehicular activities. With the introduction of Star Citizen Alpha 2.0 and Crusader, the framework for what's to come in the game has been laid. This will allow future content to come out at a more rapid pace than it has in the past. As a matter of fact, within 1 week of releasing 2.0 to all of the backers, they released 2.1, which contains a couple of new ships and some bug fixes, to a select group of backers, and all backers within a few days of that. By Christmas, which was within 2 weeks of the release of 2.0, they revealed their system for procedural generation and planetary landings. If you aren't familiar with the term procedural generation, it simply means that to save development time and system resources, the game will automatically create planets, landing zones, and scenery within set parameters and pulling the artwork from resources that have been handcrafted. The clip you see here is part of Star Citizen's Holiday Livestream 2015, where they were demonstrating their planetary landing and procedural generation systems. Another question I'm commonly asked is, can you play this game with a mouse and keyboard? The answer? Absolutely. You can play this game with just about any control setup you can imagine. You can use a mouse and keyboard, a gamepad like the Xbox 360 controller, a single joystick, a dual joystick, or a HOTAS, which stands for hands-on throttle and stick. You can even add rudder pedals into the mix. Using a mouse and keyboard gives you increased control over your weapon's accuracy at the cost of ship control. You can still control your ship well with a mouse and keyboard, but you'll be a bit more limited. With a joystick or a HOTAS setup, you have increased control over your ship and greater immersion at the cost of weapons accuracy. I haven't used a gamepad, so I can't speak to any advantages or disadvantages of using one over mouse and keyboard or joystick type setup. Eventually, Star Citizen will support TrackIR head tracking systems and virtual reality systems. My current control setup is the Cytec X55 HOTAS and CH Pro pedals rudder pedals. I hope to eventually add a TrackIR or an Oculus Rift virtual reality system. One last question that I get asked, and is very important to note, is what are the system requirements? The answer: you need a fairly robust gaming PC to play it. The game is being designed to take advantage of the latest PC hardware and to push PC hardware to its limits. The minimum requirements are a 64-bit version of Windows 7 Service Pack 1 or greater, a DirectX 11 capable graphics card with 1 GB or more of dedicated video memory, a quad-core CPU, which I would recommend an Intel i5 at a minimum, recommended to have an i7, and 8 GB of system memory. In addition, you're going to want a broadband internet connection and at least 35 GB available hard drive space. I do expect that the game will grow in size, so I would recommend having a hard drive of around 100 GB available prior to the game's retail launch. 2016 is going to be a great year for Star Citizen, and probably one of the best times to back the game, particularly if you want to get the best deal on it. I feel that this is the best time out of the time before full release to back the game, because you can get both Squadron 42 and Star Citizen for $45. Later in 2016, Squadron 42 will be a separate purchase from Star Citizen, and it will likely cost more than $45 to get both games. In all likelihood, as Star Citizen gets closer to full release, the cost could go up significantly. I would expect Star Citizen and Squadron 42 to cost around $60 each once they are in full retail release. The ships included in the currently available $45 game packages are very basic and not very good, but they'll get the job done while you earn the credits for a better ship. However, if you want to start off with a better ship, you can pledge for a more expensive game package. At the time of this video, when you buy a game package, you get a hangar, a downloadable copy of Squadron 42 when it becomes available, a downloadable copy of Star Citizen, the ship you pledged for, a few months of ship insurance, and some credits to get you started. In addition to a different ship, more expensive packages may include different hangars, longer insurance, more starting credits, a digital game soundtrack, or other in-game items. Be sure to check what your package includes before you buy it to ensure you're getting everything you want and understand what you're getting. You can also add ships to your collection without buying more game packages by buying standalone ships. Note that you do have to have a game package to play, and that all ships will be available for purchase with in-game credits once the game has launched. Additionally, you can rent better ships for 7 24-hour periods by earning rental credits in any public game mode in Arena Commander except for Free Flight. My personal recommendation is to buy the Avenger game package for $75 if you are willing and able to do so. The Avenger is a larger, faster, more maneuverable, and more combat capable ship than the basic starter ships. It fares better in the currently available game modes and will allow for more varied use once the PU is available. Though it sacrifices a bit of cargo space to add prisoner cells, you will be able to purchase a module in the PU that will allow you to add cargo space to it, or purchase an EMP module to disable ships. I will say though, that my go-to ship for dogfighting is the Hornet series of ships. There are currently 4 flyable variants in the game: the base F7C, the F7CS Ghost, which is a stealth variant, the F7CR Tracker, which is a long-range scanner variant, and the F7CM Super Hornet, which is the closest you can get to a military spec fighter. Whichever one you choose, they are all tough, hard-hitting, relatively maneuverable, and relatively fast. Pretty much, the Hornets are a series of good all-around fighters. I want to reiterate that you do not have to buy anything more than a basic starter package. All ships available for purchase now will be obtainable in the game by either paying in-game credits, finding one that has been abandoned, or even going out and stealing one.
Legendary fighter pilot Aria Riley once said, "Give me a fully loaded Hornet, and I'll shake the gates of heaven." Anvil Aerospace's Hornets have faced Vandal, Xi'an, pirates, and criminals.
Collision course.
Anvil Aerospace's Hornets have logged more combat time and kills in more theaters than any other ship in the history of space combat. Battle-tested in the harshest conditions, the Hornet has proven time and again its ability to withstand damage and still be able to dish it out. With all the punishment it handles on a daily basis, don't you think the new Hornet can handle yours?
Honey, I got the ice cream you wanted.
Anvil's new Hornet F7C. See your authorized ship dealer for options.
If you have any questions that I didn't answer here, feel free to ask in the comment section of this video, or visit the Robert Space Industries webpage using the link in the video description. If you do make the decision to buy the game, you can grab yourself an extra 5,000 in-game credits for use on the game's launch by using my referral link in the description.
All right, gentlemen.